Well, she may not yet be a household name in Australia, but she's already being compared to Nellie Melba and Joan Sutherland. Soprano Jessica Pratt is a superstar in Europe. She's returned to Melbourne from her adopted home in Italy to sing the lead role in Donizetti's opera Lucia di Lammermoor. A murderous bride driven mad on her wedding night, a famous role which Jessica Pratt has made her own.
It just requires a voice of staggering flexibility, of great range from the lowest to the highest notes, effortlessly delivered. And there aren't a great number of singers in the world who can pull that off.
Jessica Pratt's caricature hangs alongside Joan Sutherland's and a portrait of Dame Nellie Melba at Her Majesty's Theatre, the only 3 Australians to have sung Lucia at La Scala in Milan.
They are the absolute top of this particular repertoire. They're like in the top 10 of all time. So I'm not too worried about having to compete with that. I'll just do my own little job.
Comparatively, she's right up there. And she is. I mean, she's being acclaimed everywhere she goes. And that doesn't happen by accident.
Since winning the 2003 Australian singing competition, Jessica has made her home in opera-loving Italy.
There, if you can't get into a restaurant, you say, I'm an opera singer, they'll give you the table. And I got a presidential medal for singing high and fast. I think that's pretty great.
This is the first time she's sung Lucia in Australia.
It's a fun role to play because, you can be really crazy. And losing your marbles in front of 2,000 people is quite fun.
And as she prepares for opening night on Tuesday, she's asking why Melbourne doesn't have its own opera house.
There's obviously a lot of enthusiasm from the public's point of view for opera, and yet there's not a home for opera. Whereas at the moment, the opera houses, you have to sort of jump in here and there where there are spaces, maybe just for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, means that they're not necessarily always getting the best options.
Well, if it's good enough for Sydney, it's good enough for Melbourne.
Absolutely.
Jessica plans to end her Australian visit as she began, on a high note. Kathy Jacobs, ABC News.